with like his anger issue.
All right. Well, Olivier, first season in the season format. How much of an adjustment has it been this year, adjusting to the quick turnarounds in between fights?
I thought I knew what I was getting into, and I don't. It was tough. It's really hard to do that much fight in. I think it's 4 months, 3 fights in 4 months, or 3 fights in 4 months and a half. Really harder than I thought, and it's probably the hardest thing I did in the sport right now. Especially even harder than the judo tournament, which was every week, and the training camp and everything. I think this is probably the hardest, the biggest challenge in my career.
Has that adjustment kind of forced you to almost reorganize your camp at all, or just change up your camp in terms of the flow of things, getting ready to make those quick turnarounds?
Yeah, of course it did. I think I've never been sober for that long since I'm 16, you know. But yeah. So it was different. You have to be smart about the training. You have to be smart about the recovery. You have to count everything. So I think if I do the tournament next year, I would do some of the thing differently.
And then last question for me. Obviously, you've picked up a couple wins over a couple of former champions in the PFL. How much of a confidence booster was that for you entering the playoffs now?
I mean, I think I'm the favorite to win the tournament right now. I understand that we all have our challenge during training camp and during the fights itself, but I do think I overcome the biggest challenge in the cage. And you know what? Like now, I just have to do my job, and just half of the work is done right now. So it's probably half of the work, but probably the hardest part is done, though. Yeah.
Olivier, it's MMA, it's Breeze with the MMA Breeze. You said it yourself. You're probably the favorite to win the bracket. You know, you have 2 wins over probably the most formidable opponents in your bracket.
Mm-hmm.
What's the mental like heading into this week, heading into this tournament? Do you feel good? Do you feel confident? And where are you at with all that?
Yeah, I feel good. I mean, I think I said that before, but I think COVID killed my inside, so I don't. I have the feeling that I'm not excited as before. I'm not stressed as before. I'm just enjoying fighting, and even the last 2-3 fights, I was more stressed of not being stressed. So yeah, I feel great right now. I feel great. I want to be in the cage. I want to fight, and I want it to be done too. So it's like a mix of all of that, and I'm looking forward for the vacation too, because I think I'm gonna have like 3 months and a half after that, and so I think it's would be good.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of fighters, some of them like to think about the millions, some don't. With you feeling like you have a pretty good chance of taking this whole thing, do you let yourself think about the $1 million, what you've spent it on, and how that would impact your life, or you just living in the moment?
I mean, it's $1 million, but it's more peace of mind. I would not spend it, I think, and we're not like some of other people, which I don't have example of, but like money is money. You know, it's more peace of mind. I'm not complicated. Like I like good restaurant. I like to live in a decent place, and like right now I'm happy. Like I have both of those things, and I don't think it would change a lot of things. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you and good luck.
Olivier, you say you've never been sober for as long. Do you consider yourself that the day that you first drink will be the day that you might possibly have $1 million in your pocket?
Oh no! Wait, I have to be more specific with that. Like I still take a little week or two to drink after each fight. But yeah, I think out of the last 6 months, I was sober maybe 5 months. So yeah, I'm more impressed about that than my performance in the cage, I think.
We saw Stevie in the room earlier. Obviously, you're focusing on Friday night, but do you kind of look at him and Anthony when you see them around the place and kind of size them up a bit as well?
Can you speak less?
When you see someone like Stevie,
Yeah.
and of course you're focused on Friday, but if you see him or Anthony around the hotel or whatever, do you kind of size them up a bit and look at them as your future opponent as well?
I hope he's my future opponent. I mean, he's a friend of mine, and not that I want to fight him, but I want the best for him. And I do think it was a little bit unfair for him to fight Petsis like maybe 4 weeks ago. So he had less break than anybody in here. So I think he really deserved winning that fight. And yeah, I don't like the idea of fighting him, but I like the idea of him winning and being the best for his family. You know.
Hey, Olivier. So you're Brett Okamoto's favorite to win the tournament. I'm curious, have you felt the support from the greater MMA public during the time in this tournament?
No. To tell you the truth, like I'm trying to, I'm still on social media, but I'm trying not to. I'm not even trying. I just don't mind. I just don't care. I think at that point. So, like, I do feel I'm the favorite. So that's I think that what's matter, you know.
Sure. And your most recent fight came against Air Canada. They had your luggage hostage for a week, including your air fryer. Can you detail how frustrating that experience was?
Bro, I like that air fryer. I'm telling you. So it was kind of frustrating. They took my luggage for 10 days, and the 10th day I decided like, okay, now I have to find it, and I was feeling like one of those movie about like the dad finding her daughter who got kidnapped. It was a kind of the same thing, you know. So I was like really getting in with a lot of confidence everywhere, and people almost scared to answer me, and I finally got the freaking luggage, and but I wouldn't say smart, but a little bit of a peddler maybe. I bought everything back right away when they lost my luggage, because I knew they were going to pay me back. So I got some some awesome knife for cooking. I got like I didn't buy boxer like underwear for maybe 10 years, something like this. Like all my underwear were still UFC underwear, and PFL was mad about that. And I was telling you, I'm not buying underwear. You have to make new underwear. But because of that, I bought like maybe like 50 pair of underwear. They paid for it. They paid for the knife. They paid for some jacket I was looking for, like to win the million before buying it. I bought that. So yeah, to be fair, like Air Canada suck ass with everything about flying, but to pay you back, they are pretty good. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Olivier,
Oh yes. Oh yeah.
we spoke earlier in the year about your whole outlook of this season, right? What has clicked from in the PFL compared to your UFC career?
I think like a lot of things is different. You know, tactically I'm different. Technically I'm different. During training camp, like you know the crazy mindset that you have to push to the limit every training camp, every training session. Like this is so dumb, and I think that changed. I think the reason is because I got older, so I decided to change it, and it was for the better. Like I didn't spar a lot for this training camp. Like every training was more to get better and like be in shape, but nothing crazy. And it's the first time, actually today is the first time my heart rate was this low at night. So I think it's a good sign, and I think it's important. Before I was training really hard the last 2 weeks, and it's really important to peak in these. In this part, you have to be like ready the day of the fight, and maybe some of the fight I did before. When I think about it, I was just drained from the training camp. But yeah, I was 35 beat per second this tonight, so I was really like, oh fuck yeah, let's go. Yeah.
Yeah, and last one for me. You're competing across the street near MSG. This is the same location that your teammate George St. Pierre won the middleweight championship. Talk to me like what's like to compete in this venue.
Well, it's the Ulu Theater, but I won't tell that to my grandchild. I'm just gonna say it's the Madison Square Garden. So yeah, of course, it's pretty awesome.
Olivier, Miles from Bookie's Basement.
What's up?
How does it feel to fight another fighter who represents Canada?
No, but I mean, we are friends. We trained together before. It's not like I'm not excited about the fight. I don't know if because I'm dead inside or it's because he's my friend, but like I'm not excited about that fight. I like.
Follow up on my colleague's question. Do you still
okay.
feel like you're the last Canadian martial artist, the last of your generation?
No, I think there is some Canadian fighters that are really good. I mean, Charles Jourdain is there, Eman Zahabi, Alex Morgan that's going to fight in the Contender Series, Mig Dufort, my training partner, who else? Mandel Nalo. I mean, not a lot of people talk about Mandel Nalo, but he's so good. And Marc-André Barriou. Now I'm just trying not to forget anybody, but like Yohan Lennes, I almost almost forgot him. But yeah, the end there's some pretty good fighters coming behind me. But for sure, MMA received a big hit in Canada, a big uppercut by not only the government but everything. I think it was illegal to make amateur fight in Canada. It's still illegal, I think, to make amateur fight in Canada, in Quebec actually, and it's illegal too to have a jiu-jitsu tournament. So I think that doesn't help the progress of MMA good to change that a little bit.
Last question. How do you feel your...
Yo, you said 2 questions. It's like 3 questions he's asking. Hey, what the heck? Like this guy too.
Your last 7 fights have gone to the scorecards.
Yeah.
Do you feel a little pressure or an itch for...
No, absolutely not. Thank you.